much, Aishwarya. I can't wait for the session to start too. And good luck. I am sure you have chosen the right journey, which is going to be full of learning. So congratulations on that and all the best to you. Ariman, all yours.
So good morning. My name is Ariman. I'm also in 11th grade. And I was also interested by this course. Yeah,
Okay. And if I may ask, Ariman, what interested you?
I
Any
mean, I,
specific that stood out?
I'm I'm interested in psychology, so I thought I'll just do this course and l- learn some more
Yeah.
about the topic.
Congratulations, fantastic. It's critical to have the learning mindset, and that's what we're going to be talking about. And the more we want to learn, the better and better you come closer to your goals and success. So, all the best, Ariman. Well done on making this choice. Awesome. So, we'll just give this another couple of minutes. And Isha, of course, I'm going to look for your green signal as to when we can get started. Until then, we have Arav joining us as well. Hi, Arav.
Hello, Mom.
Hi, so you want to introduce yourself and what's got you to this journey here? And what are you looking forward to in this conversation next 60 minutes?
Yes, Mom. So, first of all, my name is Arav, and I'm in ninth grade currently. And
Yeah,
what interested me in doing this course is to expand my portfolio in terms like in college application because now doing these courses is very important.
yeah.
And right now, I'm looking forward to the introduction and getting started into things.
Fantastic. Thank you, Arav, for that and all the very best. Yes, absolutely. It's becoming more and more critical to open up, expand your horizons, learn more, integrate into such courses even more so that you're able to actually create more success for yourself. So good luck, Arav. Thank you for being here and thank you for that introduction. I am going to request, if possible, if you can turn your videos on, that'll be incredible. Arav, Ariman, Aishwarya, we have three A's. That's interesting. In case you can turn your videos on, that'll be very, very nice. And we have Neil joining us. Of course, so we have Shrishti and we have Himanshu is the note taker. Am I right? Is that our AI counterpart, Isha?
That's
Or
not our AI counterpart. I'm believing that they just need to change their name, I think.
I
Yeah,
see.
it's a
All right.
student joining us.
Okay. Okay. So I guess that's Himanshu. Himanshu, welcome to the session. All right. Neil, would you like to introduce yourself? Okay. Shrishti, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, hi, we can hear you, but very faintly. So if you could be slightly louder, would you like to introduce yourself and what's brought you to this journey and this program?
So I initially encountered it through school, but
Yeah,
then I was pretty excited to do it because there's a very huge variety of courses, and I think it's a good opportunity to get exposure to different skills. And I think like this specific one helps a lot in the future as well. So yeah.
lovely. Thank you very much. Yes, very interesting, amazing variety. And the more you're able to imbibe and learn, the more exposure you get. So all the best for that. Thank you very much for sharing. All right, Isha, you let me know when you think we'd like to get started. Until then, I am just making the best of my time with everyone here. All right.
Yes, seeing that we've been able to get the introductions rolling, I think now is a good time to start.
Okay.
Maybe I'll start off with introducing you, Maansi.
Sure.
So, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this Saturday morning. I'm very excited to get some very valuable insights into how learning happens from Maansi. So, let me just introduce our speaker today. All right. So, Maansi Gupta is an ICF certified business growth coach, professional success trainer, dynamic speaker, and an esteemed faculty at leading edtech companies and universities with over 20 years of global leadership experience across multiple multinational corporates. She has now moved towards entrepreneurship to establish the Winning Point, her coaching and training firm dedicated to unlocking human and business potential. Today, we are here so that we can learn from her as to how learning happens, what are some limiting mindsets that we may encounter, and how to move past them. Over to you, Mansi. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very, very much, Isha. And I must say that you may certainly the enthusiasm that you brought into my introduction makes me sound much better than I actually am. So thank you very, very much for that, Isha. And it is indeed my privilege to be part of this session today and among such brilliant minds who are hunger and eager to learn. So thank you very much for having me. And let's go ahead and get started. I am going to request once again, if you can put on your videos, that will be fantastic. But let's go deep dive, because how learning happens, mindsets and momentum. The session coming up in the next 60 minutes is right here for you. So let's kickstart with a very good morning to all of you. Thank you so much for being here. It's absolutely exciting for me to kickstart this conversation. Today, we will be talking about mindsets, right? And how mindsets can actually generate momentum. Before I dive in, I'm going to ask you, if I were to ask you on a scale of 0 to 10, how important do you think mindset is in actually generating momentum, actually being able to have a learning ability, and actually be able to go towards your goals and success? How important is it to you? Can I see it on the chat? Between 0 and 10, how important do you think mindset is to you? How important is mindset to you? Come on. Arav, Aryaman, Shrishti, everyone, because this is going to be a highly interactive session, right? A highly interactive session. So I'm going to request all of you to give me between 0 to 10. How important is it? 10 being the highest importance, 0 being the lowest importance. You can even give me 100 if you think it's super important. You can give me a minus 100 if you think it's not important at all, right? Absolutely okay. But I'd love to see some shares in the chat box. Isha, just confirming the chat box is open for the participants, right?
Yes, it should be.
Okay, lovely. Thank you. Arav, Aryaman, Shrishti, can I see some numbers here? Himanshu.
The chat is disabled for me, so maybe it's just me, but I'm not sure.
I have just enabled the chat.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you for sharing that. I think Arav, you see 100. Lovely. Thank you very much for that share, Arav. Aryaman, okay, I've started seeing now. Aryaman says 8 on 10. All right. Aishwarya says 10 on 10. Okay, super. What about you, Himanshu? And we have Elena in the room as well. Welcome, Elena. We have Sanjana in the room as well. Welcome, Sanjana. How important? Okay, super. Now I'm seeing Elena 10 on 10. I see Sanjana 10 on 10. And I see at least most of you are, I've got 1 8. However, most of us are giving it a 9 or a 10. Momentum is essential to learning. Building up regular rhythm is very important to consistency and building up knowledge. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very, very much, Shrishti, for that wonderful share. Absolutely. And that really is what we're going to talk about. And it's very encouraging to see these scores, because then I see that this 60 minutes is going to make sense to you, because I'm really here to make sense to you. Let me go ahead and quickly tell you a story. Right? Once upon a time, there was actually an eagle which was perched on the top of a mountain, on top of a tree, where she had a nest. And she laid eggs, right? 4 eggs actually in that nest. And just below that mountain were a bunch of chickens, right? And one day, an earthquake hit. And one of the eggs that was sitting on the top of the tree of the eagle actually rolled down that mountain and went to where the chicken were actually being nurtured. Now, the eagle, of course, went around, looked, all of that, right, and tried to understand where the egg was, but she could not find it. And then what happened is eventually, of course, the egg hatched, right? And it hatched where the chicken was sitting. And it started to grow up along with the chicken, right? And it started eating, walking, talking the way the chicken were. And one day it looked up, right? It looked up and I saw some eagle actually flying. And something inside that eagle, which was actually with the chicken, said, "Hey, even I want to fly," right? And the chicken looked at that eagle and started laughing. He said, "Why are you laughing?" He said, "Because you're chicken and chicken don't fly." The eagle became really sad, right? And said, "Oh my God, I really feel like flying. I don't know why I'm not able to do it, but I can't do it." And so the days passed. And every time the eagle would fly above, the eagle would look up and say, I wish I could live that dream, live that goal, live that moment of my life. But she could not. And the days passed, and the eagle died, and so did the dream. When I tell you this story, what do you think comes to your mind? What does it tell you? What happened with the eagle who was part of the chicken? What did hold that eagle back? Was it the ability that the eagle could not fly? Biologically, scientifically, she could, right? What held her back? What do you think happened? Come on, I want to see shares in the chat box. Feel free to unmute and share. Like I said, it's going to be a highly interactive session. It's not going to be me talking. It's a conversation with us. And please do bear with me. I don't put anyone on the spot. I love to spotlight people. So I'm going to come to you in any case, right? So please, what do you think came out of this? Narrow mindset. Sanjana, would you like to unmute and share? When you say narrow mindset, what do you mean?
So biologically, the chicken or the eagle could fly, but because she was told she couldn't, she started embracing that negative ideology, and that basically put her down to, and she couldn't fulfill her dreams basically.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you very, very much, right? Absolutely couldn't fulfill her dreams, the negativity that surrounded, the people that surrounded, and so therefore the self-doubt that probably came in, right? And everything that in her head did not allow her to do what she could potentially do. Shrishti, it was the circumstance the eagle grew up in and the habit of not flying. Absolutely. I see Beena saying, I think it was the eagle's perception which held her back. She was convinced by the chicken's assertions that she wouldn't be able to fly. Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, yes. And think about yourselves. Think and tell me, would you like to be like the eagle, or would you like to be that eagle with the chicken? Who would you like to be? The eagle, which is the flying eagle, or actually the eagle which is sitting with the chicken? Because why eagle? Eagle is fearless. Eagle have vision. They think long term, right? They have focus and clarity. You've heard about the eagle's eye, right? It can focus on their prey right from a huge distance and huge height and be able to actually attack with focus and clarity. Another thing about eagle, do you know? They actually love the storm, which is the challenge, where actually all the birds and everybody else hides in their nests and behind trees. You know what the eagles do? They actually stop flapping their wings. And because of that, they use the pressure of the storm and fly above the cloud. And they're able to glide and actually save their energy as the storm passes away to fly higher and even higher. Think about yourselves. Would you like to be the eagle, who's the flying, the fearless, the vision, the powerful, the learning, taking up challenges eagle, or that eagle who believed it was a chicken? Give me a E or a C in the chat box. E for eagle and C for that chicken. Come on, what would you like to be? What would you like to be? And Aryaman, thank you for being the first person to respond. E, I see, Aryaman, Aishwarya, all right. Arav, Shrishti, Sanjana, Beena, love it, thank you. But tell me, and let's be absolutely honest, are there times when we want to be the eagle, but we end up being the eagle with the chicken? Are there times where something holds us back? Are there times when we actually have self-doubt, lack of self-belief, maybe some fears, some insecurities? Has it ever happened that something has stopped you from actually reaching your potential or your best performance? Has it ever happened? And if it has, I want to ask you, what stops you? What stops you? Think about a time where you wanted to do something, but you were unable to achieve it. Maybe your performance was not your best. Maybe you knew you could do it, but something stopped you. What was that thing? Anyone would like to share an experience? And let's be absolutely real and genuine and honest here, right? Because the more we are, the more we'll take away from this session. Because this session is about you. It's about understanding ourselves. It's about being aware of ourselves to get into the mindset of learning and growing. For that, let's be real. Because this 60 minutes is about awareness and acknowledgement. What stops you? Come on, put it in the chat, or better still, unmute and share, please. Yes, when we start paying attention to what others think or self-doubt. Aishwarya, lovely share. I'm going to request you to unmute and share, please, Aishwarya. Any specific instance that comes to your mind, you don't need to take no names, but any
Okay,
time. Go ahead.
yeah, sure. I mean, I wouldn't say it's very much related, but there are certain times where I've held back, from taking part in certain competitions, thinking what other people would think of me in case I don't win or so. But
Yeah.
I think over time, I grew to realize that it's not important and it's just the experience that I should be paying more attention to. And eventually, when I did take up the challenge and did participate in such competitions, I did end up getting a place or end up winning. So I think that's one situation that comes to my mind.
Fantastic. Brilliant share. I think a round of applause for Aishwarya. Please do go ahead, use the emoticons button to, showcase hearts, claps, thumbs up for each other. Let's appreciate each other, right? Well done, Aishwarya. Absolutely. That self-doubt. What will people think of me? Fear of judgment, fear of rejection, fears of failure, right? All of those things that come up. But then all you realize is you just got to go in for that experience. You got to act. You got to be out there. That's the only way to live and learn, right? So well done, Aishwarya. Anyone else who'd like to share? What stops you or what stopped you, right? Keep thinking about it because I'd love more and more shares because what stops us could be external or internal, right? Sometimes it's our external environment, isn't it? The changes that happen, the kind of city that we are in, economic changes, business changes, social changes, COVID that happened to all of us, right? It's external. We can't do anything about it. But is that in your control? No, right? The good thing about external is outside of our control. It generally happens to a large pool of us, and we try and navigate. However, the good news or the bad news, whichever way you look at it, is the key challenge is the internal. It's inside our head, right? Exactly what Aishwarya talked about, or exactly what happened to that eagle sitting with the chicken. But the good news is that it's completely in our control, and we can overcome it when we decide we want to and how we want to. Because for success, if these are the three things that you need, mindset, skill set, tool set, like you all rightly said, about 80% sits right here in our head. And there is no better gentleman than this gentleman. His name is Timothy Galway. And I'm going to recommend this book called The Inner Game to you. How many of us into reading? Can I see a yes or a raise of hands? Do you like to read? Yeah, lovely. Arav, Shrishti, super. I see lots of hands. Brilliant. I'm going to recommend this book to you. It's called The Inner Game. It's by Timothy Galway, the gentleman you see sitting right here. And he's, of course, taken the reference of tennis. He was actually a tennis coach to Harvard prodigy students. All right. And what he used to do is he used to obviously help them in their skills, right? In their technique, how to hold the racket when the ball is coming, forehand, backhand, all of that. And one day he went off on a very long leave. And after he came back, he saw the students that he was coaching. And some of the students who weren't getting the technique right while he was coaching them, he actually saw them performing well when he came back. At first, it hit his ego, right? He was like, without me? Like, really? And then the rest is history as he tried to discover it because he said, you know what? It's not just about that technique or that skill set or tool set. Actually, it's deeper and within. Why? Because the first time the ball came to that person and he or she had to hit the forehand but could not. Yeah, happens in sports or in any other thing in life. Next time the same ball is coming. What's my inside voice of my head telling me? You couldn't do it last time. You won't be able to do it. You won't be able to do it, isn't it? And that is what stops you. And that ensures that you don't get it right. And so, therefore, what he discovered was it's really about that inner game, which is the inner voice in our head. We talk the most to ourselves, isn't it? You won't be able to do it. Remember the last time it happened? You couldn't make it happen. You won't get it again. Don't try this. There's risk of failure, isn't it? Or maybe I'm too cool for this. This is below my level. Whatever it is, it's really the inner game being played in your mind, no matter what outer game you're playing. And I think what he says brilliantly, and please do take that away, you win or lose something in your mind before you lose something in reality. Read that again. You win or lose something in your mind before you lose something in reality. Would you agree with that? Would you agree? If you agree, give me an A in the chat box. Because this session is going to make sense to you, the rest of it, only if you agree with this. And in 100%. Yeah, Love it. Only 3 A's. I'm waiting. We're now about 10 of us. I want all of us to respond, right? Yeah, because like I said, I'm here to make sense to you. I better make sense to you. I'm taking away 60 minutes of 10 of your precious time. That's 600 minutes, right? And so it's very, very important to remember that. Because are we all high achievers, super performers? 100% yes. That's why we've taken this initiative, raise the hand and say, I'm going to be in this program to learn more, to grow more, to shine more, right? We all want to be high performers. Yes? Can I see a raise of hands? High performers. Who wants to excel? Who wants to be the best? Right? Who wants to come top of this program, top of the work, top of entrepreneurship, top of jobs, whatever your dreams you want, whatever you want in life. Think about it. It's all about that. Like, love the hands. And therefore, Tim Calway came up with a brilliant equation of performance, right? And he said, performance is equal to potential minus interferences. And what does that mean? Interferences are those inner voices that I just talked to you about. I'd love to see some videos on, because I'm going to request you to do something. I'm going to request you to stretch. Stretch your arms up. Come on. Stretch. And I can't see you behind those black boxes, but I'm hoping. Thank you, Isha, for joining us, right? Yeah, go ahead, stretch. Everyone, stretch, stretch, stretch. Now, can you go higher than that stretch? What can you do if I say go higher? Because I'm going to send over a chocolate to somebody who's going to go higher than that. What will you do? Will you keep sitting on the chair? Are you going to stand? What are you going to do? Come on, put it in the chat box. What are you doing? Because I can't see you. Are you standing? Are you raising your legs? Are you standing on the chair? Are you going up on the table? Are you going on the stairs? What are you doing? Standing, Neil, huh? Thank you very much. Jumping, Arav. Thank you very much. Awesome. Super. I hope some of you have gone on the chairs and the tables. I don't take any responsibility of what's coming your way. But think about it. If I were to keep going, right, and I say go higher, go higher. Maybe you take the staircase, the lift, go to the terrace. I don't know, pick a ladder, isn't it? To go higher and higher. Isn't this exactly like your potential? Is your potential limited or is it limitless? Give me in the chat box. Limited, do you think? Or is it limitless? This is your potential. Is there any stop to it? You can keep going higher. Limitless, Aryaman. And Aryaman, I'm going to congratulate you for being the first person almost every time. Like, love it. All right. And I see Elena saying it's limitless, right? Potential is only limitless if we consider as... Shrishti, love that share. Shrishti, I'm going to request you unmute and tell me more. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so you're the one limiting your potential to some extent, right? Because you're going to think, I can't do this, or these other people are better than me. But if you consider something and if you set a goal for yourself, anything's practically possible.
Thank you, Shrishti, for that wonderful share. And I see Arav and I see Neil. And that's exactly, Shrishti, what you just said is there for performance, which is what you all want. You're super achievers. You want to add another star to that super achiever, isn't it? That performance level is your potential, which is limitless, but is getting blocked by those interferences, which is exactly, Shrishti, what you said. Unless you believe it, you won't be able to unlock it. And those interferences are your inner voices, the thoughts in your mind, that self-doubt, that fear of failure, the fear of rejection. So stretch your potential and reduce your interferences. And that is really what we're going to talk about. Let's go play this bingo, right? Let's go play this bingo. Here's a set of 15 statements. 15 statements. I want you to go ahead, read all these 15 statements. I'm going to take a pause here for about 30 seconds. I want you to go ahead and read and then think. Which one do you resonate with the most? Right? What do you tell yourself the most? Which is your interference? What is your inner voice? Right? These are actual statements that we tell ourselves so many times. And I want to see honest, real numbers in the chat that you've picked up. Right? Write down your numbers on your notepad or whatever, because in the next slide, I'm going to reveal to you what each one of these interferences are called. Right? So let's go. I'm going to pause for 30 seconds and I want to start seeing numbers. Pick the top 2, 3, 4. Don't pick all 15, please. But yes, the top 3, 4, right? So that you know dominantly what is it that's holding you back. Yeah. And I'm going to wait for some numbers to start showing up in the chat. Yeah, all right. I see Elena has come up with 9, 4, and 6. All right, hold on to those numbers, Elena. Thank you for being the first person to respond. Okay, super. Now I'm seeing all responses. Sanjana 9, 10, 14. Shrishti 11, 12, 14. 14 seems to be popular, I say. Yes, okay. And Elena is 9, 4, 6. Okay, and Shrishti 11, 12, 14. Aryaman 6, 7, 8, 13. Neil 1, 7, 14. All right, fantastic. Thank you very, very much. Hold on to those numbers because, like I said, as I reveal to you in the next slide, what these numbers actually end up meaning for each one of you. Himanshu, I see you're here as well. I do hope you can hear me. Would love to hear from you as well. And in case there's any technical challenge you're facing, please do let me know. Because what each one of these numbers really is, as you'll see, what's coming up. And this is the internal interference, it's called. Those of us who've picked one, I just can't figure this out. Confidence gap, right? I don't have the confidence. I can't figure it out. I won't be able to. Is it really something that you can't? Is it your head telling you that you can't? I know this is how things work. No point changing it. How many of us get sucked into that comfort zone, right? Or even overconfidence? This is the way it is. This is what I did, right? This is what I did in my last competition. This is the amount I can do. Not stretching outside, not going beyond. And that's where learning happens, right? The magic is outside the comfort zone. No one can get what I'm going through. Number 3, right? Or I only get such tight timelines. Number 5, the victim mindset. It's only happening to me. Why me? Look at her, look at him. Things are so different. We get sucked into that. I can't look stupid by not knowing this. Big one, yeah? Fear of being judged. And so therefore, what do? We don't ask questions, right? We don't actually go ahead and try new things. We don't take risks. If I could use a little bit of Hindi, which I will translate, sabse bada rog kya kahenge log, isn't it? The biggest challenge is, what are people going to say about me? Fear of being judged. 6, again, same confidence gap. I'm scared that I won't be able to do this. 7, this task is a waste of my time. Sometimes I know it all is also an interference. It doesn't allow you to learn, right? Oh, I know this. Why should I go to this class? Why should I go to this session? There's so much to do and not enough time. Limiting belief. The most successful person in the world, whoever that is, whatever success means to you, it could be money, it could be happiness, it could be peace, freedom, has only 24 hours. 9, if this goes badly, then I'll be written off. Back to fear of being judged. 10, I don't do things unless I'm 100% sure. And you see perfectionism as an interference. Yes, it is. Because you know what? I only like to be perfect. And therefore, I'm not going to try new things because there's a risk of failure. Because I'm so used to getting a thumbs up in whatever I do. 11, I already know. You don't have to tell me. Back to I know it all. I like doing a certain level of work as per my standard. Again, limiting belief, also egos that come in. I'm not ready for such a huge responsibility. Fear of failure. Again, my experience with this subject was really bad last time. Fear of failure. And last but not the least, I don't want conflict. What they're saying is, okay, people pleasing, the need to fit in and not be able to voice your opinion. All of these are actually the interferences that go on in our head. And you've just picked your numbers. And like I said, today's session, number 1 is about awareness. And number 2 is about acknowledgement. And number 3 is about action, right? And by picking those numbers, what you just did is acknowledged what you've now become aware of. And I'm calling them what they're called because they say name it to tame it. And what's the impact of each one of this? This is what it leads to. Because when you fear failure, you don't try. You don't take risks. You delay action. And I want each one of you, the numbers that you've picked up, think about it, right? Just think about it. Is this happening to you? Has this happened to you? Fear of rejection, you don't speak up, you don't take ownership. Feeling victimized, you don't share ideas, opinions. Don't empathize with others. Feeling superior, you don't learn. You don't want to be wrong. People pleasing, you don't say no, you don't disagree. Perfectionism, you don't appreciate criticism. You expect people to actually always agree with you. The confidence gap, You don't seek those opportunities and those limiting beliefs and the ego. You don't accept mistakes. You don't try the new. Would you agree that this is the outcome of those interferences and the impact which actually holds us back to excel in our performance? Do you agree? Can I see an A before I launch a poll? And Isha, the poll is coming up on the next slide. Can I see an A? Yes. Can I see an A? And if you don't agree, tell me, Maansi, don't agree. I'm very happy to agree to disagree, right? But I want to see if this is making sense to you. Do you agree? Because that's when you'll really take away something for you today. To recognize that next time this comes up, oh, I know this is what's holding me back. What can I do about it? It's important because I'm going to go ahead and ask you, and let's go now that we've understood what these interferences are and what's the impact. Now think of the one interference that affects you the most. One. So that it's actionable for you to take away, right? It's actionable for you to take away so that you recognize it. And here you should be able to see the poll right here in front of you, right? Go ahead and mark it out, right? Go ahead and mark it out. It is a multiple choice. So if you do think you want to certainly go beyond one, go ahead and do it, right? But if you want to stick to one, that's great because you want to take away something really solid saying, I know this is the biggest challenge. This is my biggest stumbling block. And as I get into this fantastic program and this opportunity that you have today, that's what I need to unblock and overcome, right? That's what I need to unblock and overcome. And so that's what you want to take away. Come on, everyone. I want to see everyone, please, responding to this poll. Yeah, respond to this poll. Yeah, thank you, everyone, for all those A's that you gave me. Okay, I'm seeing 7 out of 8 of us have actually gone ahead and responded. Okay, one more person. Come on, I'm going to give it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, 7 out of 8. And I see fear of judgment gone the highest, fear of failure, and a feeling a superior is coming up. Perfectionism is coming up. Confidence gap is coming up. All of these, and ego is coming up as well. I really appreciate the honesty, firstly. And I love the fact that you're recognizing and acknowledging what this is all about. And now we can move on to what we can actually do about this, right? Because unless you become aware and acknowledge, you cannot act. And I tell you something, I am on the other side of the video today because I've gone through all of this, right? However, over time, I've been able to overcome some of it. But you know, when people ask me, Maansi, how are you? I like to say work in progress because that's all I am. You're learning every day, every moment. And I'm here to learn from you even today. So thank you very, very much for this wonderful share. That's what you want to take away, right? Because when we talk about now overcoming these interferences is really when we talk about building a growth mindset. Anyone knows what's a growth mindset? Fixed mindset, growth mindset. You may have heard these terms. Anyone's aware? You can put it in the chat. Better still, let me hear. Yes, Elena, love it. Please come in and
A
let's.
growth mindset is just a mindset which helps you, which facilitates you to seek opportunities to grow, to help yourself develop as a person, and to seek for opportunities which might not be which might be out of your comfort zone, but you do know that if you take those, you'll be able to grow and learn, and that will really help you in life and in the future.
Brilliant. Thank you very, very much. Let's give it a round of applause. That was a wonderful share, Elena. Thank you so, so much. Yes, it's about the belief that you can, right? And therefore seeking those opportunities, like you rightly said, and actually believing in your abilities to actually grab those versus getting held back by those interferences that we just talked about. So thank you for that. All right, Shrishti says skills can be learned through hard work, not quitting, basically. Yes, not giving up. Right? Not giving up, just going out there and acting. Aishwarya, when we talk about growth mindsets, it's having a mindset where we take challenges as opportunities to grow. Love it. How do I go ahead and convert that challenge into an opportunity? And because every challenge is an opportunity, do I take it to my head and my heart and get bogged down? and see that as a setback, which says, I'm not going to try that again, ever? Or do I go ahead and say, okay, let me go ahead and learn from it and restart? Because remember, the next time you start, you don't start from scratch, you start from experience. And that's the growth mindset. And I want to tell you, you know what? The growth mindset is not a skill set, it's a way of life. And today we're talking in terms of learning and professional success, but it's applicable anywhere in your life, no matter what. So it's a way of life and adopt it like that. Arav, having a growth mindset is stretching yourself to achieve goals. Thank you. Arav, would you like to come in and share something about this? Would you like to unmute, talk about it? Have you ever stretched yourselves to achieve a goals? Any instance, any example that comes in your mind, Arav?
Yes, ma'am. So I play basketball for fun, but the thing is, my coach recently is saying that we should train for tournaments, but my shooting skills are not very good. So I stretch myself every day to keep shooting, to keep practicing, and using that growth mindset to become better every day.
Love it. I think a round of applause for Arav as well. Thank you very much. Great, great share. That's exactly what it is. You got to keep trying. You got to keep trying. Does anyone remember this? The moment, does anyone know who this is? Okay, do we recognize this man? Let's start with that. Yes. Now, when cricket comes in, there, look at the yes with 5 S's that come in, right? Yes, Aishwarya, thank you. Yes, Bumrah it is. And what happened in the T20 2024 World Cup? What was that moment? What happened? Does anyone remember that? Does anyone remember that? What did Bumrah do? T20, 20, please feel free to unmute and share. Don't just put it in the chat box. Don't wait for me to call out. Just go ahead, raise your hands and or just unmute and share, right? He took the most wickets. Ariman, can I bring you in? Do you remember anything about that?
So I mean, I don't remember a lot, but I remember that Bumrah took the most wickets in the World Cup, and he's the player of the tournament as well.
Yes, thank you very, very much, Ariman. Absolutely. He was the player of the tournament. He took 15 wickets. He was instrumental in getting India the win, starting from Ireland, taking it all the way to Pakistan. And he played his best in the death overs. And can you imagine? That was the outer game, isn't it? Can you imagine the inner game that was going on? What is the kind of pressure, the doubts, the fears that he must be encountering inside? And how could he have overcome it, isn't it? And this is what actually went out in the papers when he actually achieved success and that player of the tournament. This is what he said. Obviously, I respect everyone, but in my head, I tell myself that if I do my job well, there's nobody in this world who can stop me. And this was the inner game that he was playing in his head. There are always 2 games playing, inner and outer. And that is what got him to achieve that success. That's really the growth mindset. Just like you all said, right? What you see on the left is fixed. What you see on the right is the growth. And I'm not going to go ahead and read out all of this, but clearly it's the belief in the abilities that is limited. This is what I do. This is how much I can do versus I can develop. Avoiding those challenges or staying strong in those feedback. Seeing effort as pointless or seeing effort as critical. Ignoring useful feedback or learning from feedback. How often when we sometimes feel superior or ego comes in? You know, we're about 12 of us in this room. They're not 12, they're 13. The 13th is Mr. and Miss Ego. We all have a little bit of it, right? Some more, some less. It doesn't allow us to be open, to actually accept feedback, right? Think about it. Important. And last but not the least, when you have the fixed mindset, feel scared of others' success. When you look at them like, how did they? Oh my God, I don't know how they must have done it. Versus feeling motivated by others' success, clapping, appreciating. Because the other side of the growth mindset really is about, hey, if she can, I can. That's the growth mindset. And that's why I say it's a way of life. Imbibe it. It will allow you to learn and grow. And I promise I'm a walking, talking encyclopedia of the growth mindset. That's why I'm on the other side of the video, because I want everyone to believe it, and especially young talent and brilliant minds like you. I'm going to go ahead and play this video. Let's observe it, and I'd love to hear from you what you take away from it, because this is one of the ways that you can actually overcome this fixed mindset and move towards the growth mindset.
The power of yet. I heard about a high school in Chicago where students had to pass a certain number of courses to graduate, and if they didn't pass a course, they got the grade not yet. And I thought that was fantastic because if you get a failing grade, you think, I'm nothing, I'm nowhere. But if you get the grade not yet, you understand that you're on a learning curve. It gives you a path into the future. Not yet also gave me insight into a critical event early in my career, a real turning point. I wanted to see how children coped with challenge and difficulty. So I gave 10-year-olds problems that were slightly too hard for them. Some of them reacted in a shockingly positive way. They said things, like, I love a challenge. Or, I was hoping this would be informative. They understood that their abilities could be developed. They had what I call a growth mindset. But other students felt it was tragic, catastrophic. From their more fixed mindset perspective, their intelligence had been up for judgment, and they failed. Instead of luxuriating in the power of yet, they were gripped in the tyranny of now. So what do they do next? I'll tell you what they do next. In one study, they told us they would probably cheat the next time instead of studying more if they failed a test. In another study, after a failure, they looked for someone who did worse than they did so they could feel really good about themselves. And in study after study, they have run from difficulty. Scientists measured the electrical activity from the brain as students confronted an error. On the left, you see the fixed mindset students. There's hardly any activity. They run from the error. They don't engage with it. But on the right, you have the students with the growth mindset, the idea that abilities can be developed. They engage deeply. Their brain is on fire with yet. They engage deeply. They process the error. They learn from it, and they correct it.
All right, super. Okay, let's go. I'd love to hear shares from you. What do you think? What stood out for you? What's something that you're taking away? Come on, who'd like to share? Put it in the chat box or go ahead, unmute and share. Better that we unmute and share. What did you take away? What did you see in the video? Aishwarya, would you like to come in and share, please? What did you see? Anything you noticed?
Yeah, I think one of the takeaway I can take from this video is that just because you aren't there yet doesn't mean you never will be. I think it's important that all of us take in challenges, we embrace them, we develop a growing mindset, and we should learn to overcome all these challenges.
Sure. Thank you very much for that. And thank you for responding to my spotlight. Love that. Absolutely. Ariman, we should think positively and believe that the bad experience is just a learning. Absolutely. Always that bad experience, because when you restart, right, like I said, you don't start from scratch, you start from experience. And so you need to build on that. Thank you, Ariman, for that. Shrishti, having a growth mindset is believing that no matter how tough things get, there isn't an end. There's always a yet. Love it. Thank you. And if you believe in that, you're going to succeed, because giving up is just the end of the road. Yes. And so therefore, not yet is a very powerful phrase for you to really take away as a practical tip and tool that you can bring into your life, isn't it? Because I'm going to go ahead and ask you, Sanjana, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Sanjana, do you know how to bungee jump?
No, but I've seen people do it.
All right. So, Sanjana, what was the answer you think I was expecting? No or?
Yes.
No or not yet, right? Not yet. So thank you very much, Sanjana, for that, right? You don't know how to bungee jump? Not yet, right? Because what does the word not yet tell you? Not just yet, but maybe tomorrow, isn't it, Sanjana? Like you said, I've seen others doing it. Maybe tomorrow you'll learn it. So, not yet is a very powerful way of telling yourself that you believe that tomorrow you can. It gives you the hope of that possibility. And that's the attitude the growth mindset has. So what not now? Think about it, and what she talks about is the School of Chicago. And at least when I went to school, certainly we used to get the grades pass or fail in the tests. And I remember if I ever failed, I would hide that notebook under my mattresses because I didn't want my father to go ahead and see the fail, right? What did it teach me? It taught me and conditioned me to say that failure was bad. It was wrong. It was something to be ashamed of. And failure also told me I wasn't good enough. However, imagine if I got a pass and a not yet. Two things would have happened. Number one, I wouldn't have seen failure as bad, punishable, or wrong. Number two, not yet would always tell me that I can come across and overcome this tomorrow. So, not yet, one practical tip for you to take away to bring into your vocabulary and your language whenever you come across something you don't know, but it's just not yet. Thank you, Sanjana, for that. Does that make sense, Sanjana?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you for that. Neil, how much a growth mindset benefits you so much more positively than a fixed mindset does, and never giving up is what will ensure your success. Absolutely 101% for that. Number two, remember practical tip, feedback as a gift mindset. Anyone's giving you feedback, right? Please go ahead and firstly, thank you for sharing. Important. Because when feedback comes, sometimes our ego comes in, we feel hurt, right? And we say, you're telling me? Oh, you don't even know what you're talking about, right? Thank you for sharing. Remember, feedback is a gift. Has it ever happened that you gave up on someone in life? Give me a yes or a no in the chat box that you gave up. It's like, there's no point talking to this person or telling this person anything. Yes, no, Y or N? Ever happened that you've given up on somebody? Yes. Okay, I see. Yes. All right. Lots of yeses. Suddenly, wow, the chat box is on fire with those yeses. And so, therefore, you gave up on them, right? But if someone's giving you feedback, therefore, it means they haven't given up on you. They still believe for whatever reason, whatever intent they're coming with, something about you. They're saying, hey, listen to me. Am I saying that they'll always be right? No, maybe not. But they're trying. Look at it as a gift. That's why it's called a gift. Restate what I hear you say. It's important when you get the feedback to probe. Okay, what I hear you say is this. Is this what you mean? When do you think it really happened? Can you give me some more examples? Right? Especially when it's constructive feedback. Important. And also important to seek feedback proactively. Don't just wait for people to give you feedback. Go ahead and say, would you like to share something? How did I do? Is there something I could do differently? Right? Asking questions. Important. Go ahead. Many times this feeling superior or fear of being judged holds us back from asking questions because people say, oh, you don't even know this much. So I'll hold back. Don't. Let me tell you, people who want to judge you, they will judge you anyway. And this is my own philosophy, and you can throw it out of the window if you like. I always put, people in any room is a 25, 50, 20, 25 philosophy. There'll be a top 25% in life who'll go with you because you said so. They like you, they respect you, they admire you. There'll be a bottom 25 who won't go with you because they don't like you for whatever reasons. There's a middle 50%. Right? Our job in life is that 50%. If you can take this 50 up, no, you got 75% with you, you're good. You're good. Don't let, and I like to call those bottom 25 spiders in the room, spiders in the room. They exist everywhere. Don't let them take away your learning, your experience, your moments of joy. Remember, feedback is a gift. And last but not the least, stretch. Stretch. Truly stretch outside of that comfort zone, which feels safe. Don't get me wrong, the comfort zone is not bad. It's got you where you belong and where you are today. But now from here, you want to go there. That same comfort zone is not going to get you there. right? And therefore, the growth mindset and that risks and that trying and that action and just getting out there is important. And so, therefore, as you see these circles growing, you see the comfort zone starting, feeling safe and in control. I'm good at what I do. Two, when you step out of it, you move into the fear zone. Aha, all the fears of judgment, self confidence, doubts, excuses. And our mind is fabulous at bringing up excuses, isn't it? You got to push from there, extend. And that's when you come into the learning zone. And that's why a lot of you and all of you who are here have actually pushed outside that comfort zone, away from the fear zone. And that's why you're here. So, congratulations once again on being there. But now that you're here, stay here, please. Stay here. Because I promise you, the more we interact, the more exposure we have, the more and more we see, the more fears come into our head. Right? We all were toddlers, right? We all tried to were crawling and then we tried to stand up to learn walking. How many times we fell? We laughed at ourselves, maybe cried, but stood up again. Did any fear come into our head? Oh, they'll judge me. I'll fail again. That was a bad experience. I shouldn't stand up again. None of that. We all did it. But as we started growing up, these fears clouded our mind. Break away from the fears. And all you can do is just go ahead and act. Take action. Be out there. Be open. Ready to learn. Ready to imbibe. And I promise the growth zone is going to be yours. Because let me come back by saying you're all already super performers. Idea is to add another star to that super performer. And I promise growth mindset is that way of life that will allow you that. So stay with that, right? Because as we look at this very quick scenario, think about it. I'm going to go ahead and request one of you to just read this out. Neil, I'd love to hear your voice. Can you hear me, Neil? Neil, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Neil, would you like to read out this scenario very quickly for us? I'm just going to take a couple of shares and then we'll come to a wrap.
Yeah. Um, hmm. Arav and Vivan both were part of the same project in a program. While both seemed competent, Arav was quickly promoted to project lead. Vivan was disappointed, but took time to self-reflect, learned new courses on his own, picked up new skills and processes. After 2 months, Vivan also became a project lead. He continued to keep learning and growing his skill sets. On the other hand, Arav had developed his expertise very well in a particular process and ignored feedback to learn any new processes or skills. A critical new project with high visibility came up, and Vivan was selected to lead this, and left Arav confused and angry.
Yeah, thank you very much, Neil, for reading that out for me. What could Arav have done differently and what might have stopped him from doing so? Yes, Elena, please go ahead.
I feel like once Arav was promoted to project lead, he sort of grew a bit complacent, developed a fixed mindset and thought that, all right, I'm in this position now. It's the position I wanted. So I can just work the way I've always worked. And I
Yeah,
don't really need to learn any new skills at this point in time.
yeah.
But but had he not thought like that, had he broken that fixed mindset and developed the growth mindset to work on newer skills and develop, he would probably have been selected for that higher visibility project.
Yeah, super. Thank you very much, Elena. Absolutely right. And isn't that what happens to some of us as well, right? Sometimes you just end up becoming some complacent in the comfort zone. Sometimes just feeling superior, like I'm arrived now. I don't need to go ahead and learn. And we block ourselves, and you don't realize somebody else is going forward by just continuous, consistent learning and growing, right? So thank you, Elena, for that. Anyone else? I see Kunsh. Kunsh, welcome to the session. I see you in the room as well. Thank you for that. Kunsh, any thoughts?
Ma'am, the thoughts behind this case is the it is one problem complicated, which was overconfidence. Once Arav was selected for the project lead, So Ara was like, okay, I'm the project lead, my style, my way of work, and he didn't learn. While Vivan learned also.
Yeah, love it. Thank you, Kunsh. Absolutely. Overconfidence, right? Yet another interference that ends up hitting us in life. So, thank you very, very much for that. Just wanted to bring you this one scenario because there's going to be so many real time scenarios like this and others that are going to come up. I want you to be able to decode because at any moment, interferences come up in our head and we don't realize before they start blocking our growth. Important to be aware, be mindful if this is happening, and actually go ahead and say, what can I do to overcome it? And that's why I keep saying growth mindset is a way of life. And only that way of life will allow you to be that eagle that you want to be. Because, like the eagle, it's really your mindset that lifts you above the clouds and your momentum that keeps you soaring. Keep learning, keep rising, keep shining. I wish you all the very, very best for this fantastic journey that you've taken onto yourselves. And I'm just really, really happy that I've been a very, very tiny part of this entire journey with you. On that note, we come to the close of the session. Thank you very, very much for your time. I hoped it made sense to you because that's what I promised. I'm here to make sense to you. I'd love to hear any takeaways that you have, any questions that you may have. Please feel free to share any feedback that you may have for me for the session. Please feel free to share. Right. Yes. So with that, the floor is all yours. And of course, back to you, Isha, and back to all of you. Arav, Aryaman, Shrishti, Sanjana, Aishwarya, and me, Lilina, Kunsh, and a couple of people who were there, who are not there. Thank you very much. Loved the participation. Questions, takeaways, shares, please. Anything that you'd like to share in terms of a key takeaway, please put it in the chat box. Some one thing that you may be taking away that you think you can apply, something that resonated with you, something that you could reflect on, something that you connected. Any thoughts? Please do let me know. Any questions? Always happy to, of course, answer. Yeah. All right, I'm seeing a share coming in. The growth mindset is a way of life. Kunsh, thank you very much for taking that away. It's a way of life. Yes, it is certainly called a skill which we can all learn, hone, acquire. However, it's a way of life. It will help you in all personal situations as much, right? Shrishti, the growth mindset and the reasons for why we don't allow ourselves to grow was very insightful. Something that can be applied at any time and should be. Thank you, Shrishti, for that. Love that. Thank you. Awesome. Elena, yes, I've always been scared of being judged and being inadequate, but today's session really made me feel empowered, like it's in my head, right? That's stopping me utilizing. Absolutely. Thank you, Elena, for that honesty. It is just here. It's just here. The limiting beliefs are here. Neil, to aim for a growth mindset and take feedback without feeling judged and use the feedback for better use. Love it. Thank you, Neil. Kunsh, but in my case, that there are many competitions. Sometimes I think I'm not good at or a fear being judged. What should I do? Kunsh, actually, that's really what we talked about in the entire session, right? How do you overcome judgment? Because those of us who are going to judge us will continue to judge us. The intent is go with your full intent, full preparedness, and go ahead and act. Take that chance. Move. Will it be your 100%? No. But will it be 80? Probably yes. Will you learn from that experience and then add and make it 82 next time? Probably yes. And that's what we want to focus on. Don't let others take away where you belong, right? And on that note, I think we are sharp at 11:59. I got the last 30 seconds before Isha is going to kill me, right? So, Arav, a positive and growth mindset is important while achieving all goals and our tasks in our daily lives. We must follow the 50-25. Yes, Arav, thank you for taking that away. It's the 25-50-25 rule. All the best to you on that. Isha, all yours while I'm reading Aishwarya's share. All yours, please.
I want to thank all of you present here for being so engaging and so open. And most importantly, Mansi, I want to thank you for all of these incredible insights. I feel like I'm walking away with so much to think about as well. I've learned so much from the honesty and the sharing that the students have done as well. And I think there was no other way we could have started our first step towards the fun summer of learning that's ahead of us. I think it's geared us up for being able to thrive in that discomfort of that growth zone. And I really hope that that's something that we take with us, not just for this program, but for our life ahead. Thank you so much, all of you. And I'm looking forward to seeing more and more of you in the coming few days.
Love
Thank
it.
you
Thank
for
you
your
once again.
time, Maansi.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Isha. And thank you to all of you. Aishwarya and Sanjana, I just read what you have written. So thank you very, very much for all your shares, your participation. I wish you all the very best. Enjoy your summer of learning and fun. Wish you the very best. Climb the ladders high so that one day I'll look up and say, hey, I was a small part of that fantastic story of that person. Good luck. See you soon. Bye.
See you. Bye bye, all. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Miss Mansi.
Thank you, ma'am.